Hey guys, Drifter here. Today I want to talk to you about the Warzone Pacific experience on console, because unfortunately the console experience is very rough. So I've been playing on PC, and I will say that things are running pretty well on PC and I'm rather happy with it, but I have paid attention to the subreddit, to the Discord, to my Twitter timeline, to videos that you've all been sending me, and I can tell that Caldera is not running very well on console, so unfortunately that's what we have to talk about today instead of a more uplifting video. And I'm not going to have any gameplay of Caldera on console because, like the clown that I am, I wiped all of my boring and somewhat generic footage thinking I could do an Easter egg or a little guide video today, but unfortunately got overwhelmed by all of this negativity. So we're going to use some V2 Rocket gameplay from regular Call of Duty Vanguard while we talk about what's going on Caldera. And again, I have played astonishingly little on console, so do keep in mind this is primarily a user-reported experience, but my god, the users are reporting them. And let's start off with Xbox today. The Xbox experience is probably the worst of the two. I have seen the Minecraft graphics coming back. There are endless videos and screenshots on Reddit and Twitter and YouTube and other places. If you're playing on Xbox, it just looks brutal. It looks unpolished. It looks kind of like a PS2 game, like you've gone back and you're playing Grand Theft Auto 3 for the first time and you're impressed that it's a 3D world. It actually reminds me kind of when Blackout first came out in beta and we had like the Minecraft trees and like the render distance and the smooth surface areas and stuff like that. And you would say, okay, maybe that's acceptable for the Xbox One original, right? Because that console is very old. It's the weakest of all what you could say is current generation. But it appears that they shipped the regular Xbox One version for the Xbox Series S and the Xbox Series X. And I've also heard people saying that they shipped the Xbox Series S version for the Xbox Series X, and this whole little conversation that we're having here reminds me of how much I utterly despise how Microsoft names their consoles. But the point being that if you have an Xbox Series X, which is the nicest, most premium, like best graphics of all the modern consoles, you can't actually enjoy the game in its full potential because you're playing on a version that is at least one generation lower, if not two generations lower than what your console can handle. So that's pretty brutal. I've seen a lot of people reporting stuttering. I've seen the sound bug a lot on Reddit. So apparently if you're playing on Xbox, the sound can randomly cut in and out, and not like temporarily for like a short period of time where it's annoying, but apparently it's for very long periods of time. And I've also seen a number of users reporting crashes and bugs and a lot of frame rate drops and stuttering and kind of stuff like that. So I have seen a lot of people messaging me personally actually saying that it is nearly unplayable if you're on Xbox, which is very sad because now regular Verdansk is gone, so I guess you can do either Rebirth or unplayable. PlayStation users have slightly different concerns. So the graphics seem good on PlayStation 5. I don't really see any issues with them offhand. Not so much on PlayStation 4. That's kind of to be expected. PlayStation 4 regular Pro's a little better. So I'm not super surprised that the oldest console doesn't look the best. Unfortunately, on PlayStation, there's a ton of crashes, a lot of dev errors. A lot of times I've seen people say it's unplayable, I can't finish my rounds, I can't finish my game. There's a lot that I can't do. And the big one that PlayStation users are mad about, and I think rightfully so, is that there's no FOV slider. To the best of my knowledge, an FOV slider was never a feature that was explicitly promised, though I do know it's one that people were excited for, they were interested in. It was something that they wanted in their game because every other system had it just about. PC obviously has an FOV slider. Xbox One Series X, if I'm not mistaken, has an FOV slider. And the only people that don't have a field of view slider are PlayStation users. And that doesn't matter which PlayStation you're on. If you're on PlayStation, you can't change your field of view. The reason this is bad is because that means if you're playing on PlayStation, you're inherently at a disadvantage. By changing your field of view, you can see more around you and you can react more quickly to incoming threats on the side. Also, your vision's just a little bit more myopic, so you can sometimes see people in combat just generally better. But the PlayStation default field of view is rather tight. It's 80 if I'm not mistaken, or maybe 75. I play on 100 field of view. A lot of the competitive streamers that you watch probably play on 110 or 120. and I'm a little bit confused as to why this hasn't been added. Again, it wasn't promised, but I know that at the very least, the PlayStation 5 more than has the power to have the FOV slider functional. When you change the FOV, you do change the way the graphics card renders the game, and you can increase and decrease the demand on the card by doing that, albeit slightly. So there may be an issue with developers not wanting to overtax or overburden the PlayStation 5, but I'd like to hope that a new generation console can handle something like that. A ton of games on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 4 Pro had FOV sliders, just not Call of Duty typically. And the reason this is the most bizarre to me is that Sony is Activision's like first party partner. Every Call of Duty game has something Sony exclusive. It's always revealed on PlayStation. The earliest streams are on PlayStation. They always get an exclusive mode on PlayStation. It used to be if you were Xbox or PC, you had to wait for content, and PlayStation users would get it early. So they're very deeply entrenched with Sony, yet Sony PlayStation is the only system to not have a field of view slider. If you're a Warzone player and you're into Battle Royale and you want to be competitive, it's really bizarre that the #1 console that they promote at all their events and partnerships has a massive disadvantage just sort of built into the options. So I really hope that changes sometime in the future. I think that among the numerous problems that we'll talk about today and have already talked about, other than of course making the game more stable, field of view slider would probably make the most people happy. When it comes to the Ricochet anti-cheat, I personally have not run into a cheater yet, and I used to run into them like all the time, so my subjective personal experience is that there appear to be less cheaters, but we still have cheaters. I'm still seeing clips on Reddit of all sorts of new level 1 accounts out there cheating, hacking, aimbotting. It seems like a lot of the old hacks got banned, but new hacks are just coming up really fast because it's a free-to-play game. So I think that we're still going to have cheaters for a little bit. Now, the Ricochet anti-cheat is described as a sort of smart learning and work in progress and a step 1. So there is a sort of lag here where the team needs to catch up to the cheating technology, where they need to get the data to analyze, when they got to get the tools ready. So I hope that in the future this work in progress becomes a little bit more robust and a little bit better. But right now it's still just kind of in that first step phase. And if you're playing Warzone, you're going to run into cheaters eventually. Then there are some global issues with the game that players are not happy about. The impossible to climb rocks are back, where you can fall down and not be able to go back up, or just where they're just difficult to climb up to begin with. You could, just like Skyrim, you can just spend an hour trying to go up the rock mountain. There is some questionable weapon balance choices, like letting players have 2 riot shields, or some of the weirder attachments on Vanguard weapons make them super strong, but probably not as strong as the Cold War guns, which are getting nerfed, so then it'll just be Modern Warfare in World War II themed era stuff. A little bit odd. I do see the Cronenberg weapons and players returning. I actually see a lot, it's like where it like glitches out and the gun turns into this big like crazy spiky mess. I've seen that with players too, and I've also seen some Vanguard characters go invisible, kind of like they do in regular Vanguard. When they're climbing a ladder or doing some particular action, it doesn't like load their player model right, so sometimes they'll briefly turn invisible, which is a little bit wonky. Those issues, other than probably the rocks, are relatively minor and not too bad. So unfortunately, Caldera's off to a pretty rough start. I feel like I've had a couple of pretty negative videos in a row here on the channel, especially towards AAA gaming and big titles, and I don't want this to turn into like a negative COD hate, conspiracy type, you know, Alex Jones channel, but the start was rough, and it's fair for me to describe it as being as rough as it is, especially for console users. Now, most of this isn't true on PC. I gotta admit, on PC it's running great, it looks great, I got good frame rate, I don't have any major errors that I've run into yet. It's, I mean, we still have the global problems like rocks and balance issues, but the PC version is running really well, which is a little odd considering that, at least in years past, PC was more of an afterthought and the big focus was consoles. Though maybe there's a lot of Warzone PC players now and PC's getting more focus, which makes me happy, but I can't imagine that there are more PC players than both consoles combined. That just doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. So hopefully all of this gets fixed within a patch or two. Launches of new products are always pretty rough. The launch of Rebirth was rough. The launch of Cold War and Verdansk 84 was not this rough, but it was similar and there were pretty big problems. They usually smooth out over 2 or 3 weeks, and I hope that's what happens here with Vanguard. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.